Deputy Speaker, my constituents and I in Chichester know how lucky we are to live in such a beautiful part of the UK, and we need to see growth so our young people can stay in our local communities, so they can buy homes in the areas that they've grown up in, so they can continue to contribute to the economy and keep Chichester thriving for generations to come. But the reality of the planning system in my little patch of the country is that it isn't fit for purpose. So with the district council's footprint covering 70% as a national park and then 5% as a national landscape, the ambitious total for housing allocation in our area is squeezed into just 25% of the available land in a ribbon which is creating coastal squeeze. This has led to high-density developments built without adequate infrastructure, leaving my residents facing daily challenges navigating the horrendous congestion on the A27, finding local school places for their children, or quite simply getting a GP appointment. The current system has left my communities really frustrated, my local businesses unable to grow, and local councils tied up in red tape, unable to plan. Housing developers have a duty to create communities, not just buildings, but the very nature of the planning system that we work in now means that developers are only putting forward proposals that look at their patch that they're trying to develop rather than the wider picture around it. And the local councillors that are elected to represent their areas are fighting with their hands tied behind their backs. At both Chichester District Council and Arran District Council, an application may be refused by the Planning Committee, perhaps due to flooding risks, loss of Grade 1 agricultural land, or inadequate infrastructure in the area, only to be overturned at appeal, which is a costly, time-consuming process, taking planners out of the planning department where they are trying to plan. The previous administration at Chichester District Council allowed the local plan to expire, which left developers running roughshod in areas on the Manhood Peninsula, which is a low-lying coastal plain susceptible to extreme flooding that seems to be getting worse and worse. The new administration in 2023 focused on getting a robust local plan in place, which has now been through inspection to the relief of communities across Chichester, and it protects areas like the Manhood Peninsula and prioritises brownfield development, which we all share across this House should be the priority for planning. But this government's new, very ambitious housing target could force the Chichester District Council back to square one and put all the power back into the hands of developers, because we're being asked to increase our housing target by nearly 100%. Because, Madam Deputy Speaker, we don't have a planning crisis, we have a building crisis. Developers are land banking consents rather than getting on and delivering the homes that we need, because demand drives up prices. There are more than 1.4 million homes with fully consented permissions that have not been built since 2007. This bill does not tackle the workforce issues or the supply chain issues. And it also doesn't acknowledge that water companies, which are responsible for vital infrastructure to ensure their reliance on storm overflows can reduce over time, are not consulted over individual planning applications because they are not statutory consultees. And the Minister knows this is something I have called for in other debates. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, there is no target for social homes in this legislation. And currently I have a situation where registered providers in Chichester are refusing to take on the social homes on the smaller mixed-use sites, favouring the larger developments and prioritising upgrading their existing housing stock, which is putting the viability of social homes in my area at serious risk, and they are homes that we are desperately crying out for. Thank you.